Good evening, folks. How is everyone doing today?
Good evening!
Sky and Nez. An hour from release.
Big deal. Very big deal, gang. Hey, Cyrix.
We got people already? Let's see what's going on. Hey there, Rex.
Let's send this here. Oh. I'm so thrilled. I'm just having a good day. Do you know why? I'm having a good day, man.
What's going on?
Releasing a bloody game.
Is there something else going on?
Yes. There is my dad's birthday.
Well, happy birthday, your dad. I won't dox him.
It's fine. I mean, it's fine. It's a fairly common name across the Middle East.
Fair enough. Well, say happy birthday to Keith for me.
I thought you were going to just like a Muhammad or something.
Us too, Rex.
Hang on. I'm just getting a message saying, what is the bird song? I wonder if it's loud.
How are our levels compared to the game at the minute, Rex?
Yeah, someone could feedback. That'd be dreamy.
Because right now you're hearing the main menu to WAVER, although you're not seeing it. Hey there, DJ Hero. Hey, Daisy.
Is she in the
Daisy's around,
chat?
yeah.
Alright, Diz! Nice to see you. Maybe
do
you want to take the levels down slightly.
Okay. Hey, Eli.
Actually, shall I listen? I can listen. Oh, levels are fun.
Yeah. Whack him down by one, or just good?
Why not? Level one. Wait. Oh, yes, really.
Cool. I can do that from
since it was announced. Well, you're going to be pleased to hear that it's out in approximately 55 minutes and 51 seconds.
Not much longer to wait. Howdy, Rubik's. This game's excellent. Thank you.
Very exciting.
Yeah, we cannot wait to press the go button on this first game.
Yeah.
First Buried Things game out.
It's a big deal. And thank you, Rubik's. You're wonderful too. I have to say, there's a 1% chance that we try and press the button and it doesn't work because the only day that we've had any trouble with Steamworks is today.
Hey there, Axel. Yeah, they seem to be having some troubles with their servers earlier, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
The plan today, though, obviously we do have just under an hour before launch, approximately 55 and 51 seconds. In that time, I think we're just gonna chat about the game a little bit, play some of the game, show off some bits that people won't have seen yet, because Endless is brand new to anyone that's never been streamed.
Keyboard warrior.
So I'll see if I can be a keyboard samurai today, and we'll just chat about things, and then obviously in 55 minutes we're gonna press that launch button.
Very exciting.
Right.
I do apologise in advance for how noisy the road is today. It seems to be some kind of 6-hour street race happening next month.
You're getting very well noise cancelled and barely hearing it.
Oh, that's good. Well, the
No
police
worries,
have just arrived, it seems. I like that our logo just disappears into the web button.
How much will it cost, Ness?
I can tell you how much it will cost. It differs by region. Steam handles all of this for us. But in the UK, which would be our market, we're retailing for £9.99, and in the US it would retail for $11.99, which are probably two big ones. However, we have an opening discount of 40%, a very chunky discount, arguably the biggest discount we will have for the entire duration of WAVER's existence until at some arbitrary point 5 years in the future we may bring the price down. But as far as we're aware, this is the big one. So. Should be, I think something like £6 in the UK or $7.20 maybe in the US. And then whatever you can probably calc that out if you're used to doing conversions for your region, but it will be the equivalent difference in dollars that you'll be used to from other Steam games.
Yeah, it'd be cool for a lot of people to jump on it early, so we wanted to give a nice early discount, and then it'll be a little more after this.
I'm glad you like the wildlife sounds. You like WAVER. There's loads of them. There's so many little things I would love to talk about in WAVER that I wonder if people are going to pick up on. There are so many tiny details. I only have $2, so the 2.78 euros on Steam. It is more than that. Although not tons more than that actually. Yeah, there's so we should talk. I guess should we just do like a little post-mortem and a little gameplay? I don't know what and when.
Do you want to chat while I do some gameplay?
Sure, I can. I'm trying to work out what to tackle here. I'm thinking about this like we think about post-Legendary streams. Like, well, how well did we expect to do? Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really work. This is a real game. This game is now 1 year and let's see, April, so May, June, July, August. 1 year and 4 months old, which is crazy. That's a really long time to have been sitting in development.
Yeah.
And I think it is. I'm just so glad we finished it. Not because I'm glad to put it behind us, but actually, I'm really glad to release it now. I'm really excited. We did so much in the last few months. The game is bigger. We got a new trailer, which I should probably link in the little thing here. I'm going to tweet it out when we actually launch, but you guys can get a little sneak peek. I'll put it in the YouTube chat. And yeah, God, I don't know. There's so much to talk about. So I guess let's just let's post-mortem it a little bit.
Sure.
And talk about the general development cycle. Hang on, I'm going to link this in now.
Shall I boot up a game of Keyboard Warrior and we'll start chatting?
You reckon you can chat over Keyboard Warrior?
Well,
let's chill for 5. Let's
Yeah.
chill for 5 and let's
Yeah.
just talk, and then we'll get into gameplay in a second, and,
All right, let's do that.
I'll riff about details.
Sure.
So okay, I'm going to interview you because I was recently interviewed.
Okay.
So first things first. Okay, let's start with a random question. What was the most challenging thing in development for you?
I spent a lot of the time in the development space in this game feeling like it was very brittle. And that makes it not fun to work on or play. The kind of the steel thread of the game was always non-robust. We would get lots of problems. One particular recurring problem, we had the cheerleader bug. I'm sure that'll get discussed at some point. But just, yeah, it's like the code base under this game is messy as hell. And it tangled a lot, and trying to undo those threads to fix things was tricky. So yeah, it always felt kind of nasty to go into like testing new features and stuff in the game when I was still seeing problems occurring from old features that I didn't know how to fix or even repro the bugs for half the time. These days, it's so much smoother, and when we started fixing a lot of these things, and especially the cheerleader bug, all of a sudden, you talk about this game feeling like it almost came together when we put audio in, and for me this game felt like it came together when it just played smoothly. Like I just could do a campaign run through and not hit game breakers. So before that point is what I found really challenging. What about you?
The most challenging part of this project for me is just how long it ended up taking, I think actually it's specifically the way in, well, yes, I gave this answer on this little interview the other day, but I can go into like a little bit more specific detail with you.
Sure.
But the fact that we have had when we've had our work come in, it has crossed over in strange ways. So when one of us has been free, the other has not been free. And also, there were large chunks of dead air on our production while we were both busy with stuff. And that was not helped by the pandemic. We have had, I want to say, over the whole duration of this, and a lot of people have been working remotely. I don't think they'll think this is a big deal, but for me, it's a really big deal. We've only been able to be in the same room developing like 3 times for like a week at a time. And I think those sprints have like helped revitalize some of this stuff.
Yeah. They're definitely the times where the most has been done on the game in that short period.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it is also there's a feeling of isolation when you're working on a project, and especially when, you know, I know it's our project and you know it's our project, and it does become hard to just go, okay, well, what can I run away with here? I feel like even for the things that I can be doing on my own, I want to be hearing your feedback, and I want to be seeing how you feel about it. And, you know, every design decision we've taken in this game, I think we've made as a pair. So when we've been in the spaces where we've been able to just have that instant bounce, it was a hell of a lot better. But yeah, I think, and this is a project that didn't, you know, I don't want to, what we've kicked out, I think, is really shiny. It's really polished, and I'm really proud of it. But it didn't need to be in development for a year and 4 months. Had situations been different, we could have finished this quicker. And if we hadn't been working on it, mostly on weekends and on top of other work, and on if it hadn't been such a passion project, I guess it just would have been nice to be able to go, okay, we're the studio working on WAVER, and if we had been, I don't think we'd have got any further than we got now, but we would have got here a hell of a lot quicker.
Yeah, sure. It's not only were we working full-time during this. Hey, Weird. Hey, Pixie. Not only were we working full-time during this, for me personally, I also had like a big career change during this. I used to work in escape rooms, and then during WAVER, I lost my escape room job, which is actually when quite a lot of WAVER work got done for a while, and then went into an absolute crash course for new software engineering, and then got into a new job with that, and that's all just taking quite a lot of my time and software development energy as well. Especially when that honestly felt more fun than WAVER during the kind of lull of it just feeling very brittle. But yeah, like you say, it's not it's not a year and 4 month project. It's probably more like a 6 month project.
It's probably a 6 month project. That's how I thought about it this whole time, and we gave it 6 months. We just gave it 6 months, very very spread out. Yeah, no, I think there's a couple of things like that. When you were talking about the bristleness of the project, and I think it's some of those things that because we spent so long with it, a lot of the things that I recognized are the major strengths of the game. It's genuinely charming. It's genuinely funny. It is very innovative. There is not another game you will be able to buy like WAVER. It exists in a very strange space, very experimental in a lot of ways, and that's because it came out of a game jam, and it's because it came out of a bit of a let's just try it out sort of mentality. But all of those things you just become absolutely dead to when you've been looking at it for a year and 4 months.
Sure.
The game isn't funny to me anymore because I heard the jokes 100 times, and the things that seem obvious, the play experience is actually good and fun and satisfying and robust. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking, no, because I'm not seeing the game, I'm seeing the code, right? And I know that we built this particular part on some stilts that we're going to have to start strengthening, even if, a player will never encounter these things. And I think it is strange because some of the moments where I could see you get elation from the project were not meaningful changes in the product that we're selling. They're meaningful changes in something underneath that just never sat well with you.
Yep.
And I think ultimately, you could have put the game out with a lot of these stilts still pretty rickety because it worked, it fit. But what we did was we cleaned up a lot of stuff, and the game runs faster now and it's cleaner, and all those little things that do come as it wasn't wasted energy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. Okay, next question for you, because you said the fixing the cheerleader bug was the moment where it started to feel robust for you.
Just before you get to that, Pixie in chat asks, what's it about? So I don't know if you want to just give a very brief background of what the game is, and then we'll
okay. I'll go. So WAVER, a typing adventure, is a sort of typing rhythm keyboard game. It's very specifically a keyboard game. It is a peripheral game for a peripheral you already own. And it's the narrative of the game involves a mysterious, nebulous, and unexplored sport that you are diehard fans of. And after a tragic loss in the 80s, 4 decades pass and you get the opportunity to redeem yourselves, having practiced the stadium wave that might better spur your team on to victory. So you follow your team on a kind of tour around the world, going through this league in an attempt to win this big cup, except things get a little bit crazy near the end and you get quite sidelined, but I won't spoil too much.
And that all started kind of, as a game jam 3-day idea to just keep a Mexican wave alive for as long as possible, and has just kind of blossomed ever since into this bigger game.
And I want to keep pushing the motto I've had for the development of this game, and whatever the title of the GDC talk will inevitably be, is taking a very silly idea very seriously. I think what we've got here is a very, every time someone looks at it, they're always just like, that's what the game is. And then when they play it, they're like, oh, and it's like a whole thing. You've made a whole thing out of this. Oh, yeah, we did. Wasn't it a baseball team you were cheering for? It is never truly explored. The sport they're playing, so each stadium has its own dedicated couple minutes of Atmos in the background as well. And I think you can hear, if you were a particularly sports-tuned person, probably about 20 different balls being hit. So it's very unclear. There's definitely some basketball court squeak. There's definitely some tennis racket prang. You'll have to work out what the sport is yourself. Maybe that's WAVER 2. WAVER 2
it's sequel bait. Yeah, it's sequel bait. Yeah. It's for when we put WAVER in VR and you're doing the Mexican wave, but you can now see the stadium in front of you.
That's it. We did. Obviously, we know what the sport is because it is happening. It's just behind the camera. We did model and program all of that.
Yeah.
It's quite a complex sport happening, and you are influencing it. It's very detailed. It's kind of like Football Manager. The sim underneath it is absolutely.
Yeah, I think we didn't fully explain why it's a year and 4 months to make a 6-month project. It's because the other 10 months is behind the camera.
Yeah, sadly, we never turned the camera around. We're going to have that feature in. It's probably a one-day feature, but we want to launch in 40 minutes. So.
We really tried in the space level, but it just kept going the wrong way.
You do catch baseballs that are thrown out into the stadium at some point. You're not wrong, Rubens. That does happen. So, it can be baseball. Anyway, I had a question. Oh, yeah, so, okay. The thing that haunted you the longest, probably that cheerleader bug, and you should explain that in a second. But what was the feature or in-product thing that got added that you think was most satisfying for you? It's a tiny thing.
Tiny thing. Okay.
Yeah, just like a little thing.
I'm gonna actually switch over and show it now. So let's go from our little side-by-side seat scene here and go to desktop. So here is WAVER in its current form. I'm gonna go to my launch crew team because this is my team for launch day. And if we go to the ticket menu here, you will notice that tickets have these little star stickers on them. So when you earn scores in the game, if you get 1, 2, or 3 star scores, or maybe even more than that, these stickers appear on your tickets. And just everything about this little system I think is really cool. We've got this nice ticking up animation that shows you where you got to on the bar. Obviously if you don't get a 3-star score, that's going to stop short somewhere. And the number ticks up, but most importantly, these little star stickers just get randomly put onto the tickets, and it's so satisfying. So yeah, I love
the star stickers. And there's like 5 different types of sticker that can go on there at different angles and different degrees of like scuffedness. And
we've got
I like that a lot.
A scuffed and a bent corner, and then another bent corner there, and they're all like rotated differently and placed differently. Yeah, it's great. I love them. I love these little stars.
That's a good show, actually. I'm a big fan of that one. On this menu, a couple of little things, like the sounds when tickets get ripped, I find very satisfying.
Yes.
That's one of those things where, because the ticket menu was your idea almost straight after we finished the jam. I remember you pitching and being like, well, our menu should be, I said we should have like a timeline. And you were like, yeah, we should put tickets on the timeline, like each one be a ticket. So spent ages in Photoshop being like, what is sport?
What do tickets look like?
Have not been to a sporting event in 9 years. What ticket look like? But yeah, no, that's a really good one. I think I want to answer that question. Look, I think my favourite thing we put in there. There's a couple of little sound effects that really, really satisfy me, and you'll see one in a bit. But one of the newer features is in the Keyboard Warrior mode. We had a couple of modifiers that you'll not see in the normal story mode. So you get unlocking Keyboard Warrior, and good luck trying to beat it. But Keyboard Warrior has a feature where people can fall asleep. And the little noise they make and the little way that they get startled when they wake up is, for me, one of the greatest things in video game history. I'm so glad to be attached to it.
It's something that anyone who was around for the Ludum Dare streams might actually remember being thrown around as an idea. I'm pretty sure that Sleeping Guys was mentioned during Jam and it just never went in, and then just kind of was forgotten about for a long time. It never went into a level. I wanted it to be for like the nighttime level, and then we didn't really do a nighttime level, at least not a late one. There's Wait for the Camera, but that's much earlier before we probably want any Sleeping Guys, and it has an event already associated with it. So Sleeping Guys kind of got sidelined, and then we were doing Endless, and I was just like, oh yeah, that was a thing that we mentioned once a year ago. What about it? And we put it in along with some other funky things to mess with you.
There are tons of tiny little details that I think are worth looking out for. Some of the stadiums have these subtle animations that throw a little bit of life in. You'll see the Tory arch that we've used in quite a lot of the marketing material because it's a nice picture.
Nice shape.
Yeah, it's nice shape and nice bunch of colours. But when you travel to WAVER Japan, special secret WAVER Japan, the passing of cherry blossom, underground, which is the background you've got behind us here. Sometimes dust falls from the ceiling and little bits like that, and they have little sound cues that are, look procedural in some fashion as well. And there's all these like tiny little bits that we added in that like you're going to notice when you're in there in a very subconscious way, I think, and it adds a lot. And then just the excitement, I think, someone when they find another, and I've just listed a couple of tiny things, but there are some little things in here that catch edge cases, or just little visual details, or little things that appear in places you might not have thought to look, that I think are going to bring people a lot of joy.
Some of the ticket details are quite fun.
The ticket details are super fun, yeah.
I'll show that again when we actually start playing. I'll go to that. But did you have any other questions before we maybe have a look at Keyboard Warrior?
Oh, I've got so many. I don't know. The game is such a big deal. Did you ever think we were going to finish it?
Did I ever think we were going to finish it?
Or more specifically, were there moments where you thought, we're never going to finish that?
Yeah, there were never moments where I thought I was aiming to not finish it.
Right, never moments where you didn't want to.
But yeah, there were times where I was thinking, this might fizzle. Again, when it just felt really brittle. It felt like it was going further and further away from what one could call a game in the business. So yeah, sometimes it felt like scrambling to not fall off a cliff face when we were like trying to fix just critical bugs and stuff. So yeah, that was very light at the end of the tunnel when that came out. As soon as we fixed those kind of things, it was like, oh no, it is a game, you can play it. It's actually quite good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I agree. There's a point at which you start seeing it as a game, and I think you mentioned, like, for me, it's often things that you haven't done, because when you look at the work you've done, you see the process behind building it. When you look at the work someone else has done, especially while you weren't around, that's just magic that happened.
Yeah.
So features that you add, I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. And features like our soundtrack, which was made by Harry Parsons, who has our endless thanks. He did a genuinely excellent job.
Yeah.
He is me and Matt built the game, but Harry is definitely the third major piece of this. When any music went in, it just lifted me to such an extreme degree, to the point where I called you last night at like 2 a.m. I was like, wait, before we get off, I need you to hear the new thing Harry's put in. Just stream it to me. Like, we've been bug testing and like doing like work, and I was like, just a brief moment of joy, please. I want to see how you feel when the music transitions from 4/4 to 6/8. It's such a cool bit. So, Hills on Hills Without Valleys. That is
absolutely
spot on, Pixie.
Yes, Daisy, big up Harry P.
Big up Harry P. He's a king. In fact, I should tell him
Hearty Parsnip himself.
Hearty Parsnip. A hearty parsec. So yeah, little things like that I think did a lot for it. One more quite, I mean, it's sort of like a broad talking point, I guess. But so I went and studied a games masters, and as a result finished a bunch of small games projects, beginning to end. This is easily the biggest thing I've worked on also, especially in terms of timeline. But like, I worked on Causeway for a year, and we took that to a festival and stuff. For you, outside of modding, this is the first games project you finished, right? Unless you're counting game jams.
Besides game jams, yeah.
And I mean, I guess just like, it does the journey, is the experience. There were some things that felt a little familiar to me. A lot of this felt very new. But I guess were there things as part of this process, the way in which you end up looking at the game as, you have your down weeks and then your up weeks and little things like that. Did any of it feel, I don't know, I want your, inside your brain for that.
Well, overall, it's certainly a good sign that like I can't wait to get started on the next thing. I've wanted to have the conversation about what comes next for weeks, and it's been hard to like be like, no, let's get WAVER done, then we'll talk. But I'm going to be hitting you up over the next probably this weekend and hash out whatever comes next.
Let's just deal with how the reviews are going and make sure that the media is getting a look.
Sure. We'll make sure everyone has a nice experience playing WAVER. But yeah, well.
Harry's going to come round. Hang on.
Oh,
I'm going to get him on stream.
Okay.
Wait, hang on. Count fast. We're streaming for 34 more minutes until launch button.
The game does not have Steam Cloud support, Rubix, now.
When that's required, I can't be.
We have a couple Steam kind of features, so there are Steam achievements. I've never even looked into how Steam Cloud stuff works, to be honest. It's something that may well be patchable at a later date. We have ideas for things that might come another day. At the moment, no, it's not Steam Cloud supported.
Yeah, there's a couple of Steam features that are not presently in the game. Steam has to review your product before it gives you a few of these things.
It's like trading cards.
So trading cards is one of the things that I think we will probably get access to at some point after a few sales have been generated. I think Steam wants to wheedle out whether or not it thinks that you a bot upload.
It's a Trojan.
Yeah. There's nothing dodgy and this that they don't want to be associated with. Cool. Yeah, I guess let's play some game and then.
Sure.
If you don't mind, I'm going to go and grab a beer while you kick into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's go back to our desktop here. So just while Liz is away, I'll show you some of the fun kind of stats on the tickets. Some of these get covered up by the star stickers, which I suppose is maybe slightly unfortunate, but I like the way that looks because it does literally just look like someone has come on and stuck some star stickers on your ticket. But you can see some of these details. I don't know how obvious this will be on YouTube with the quality, but like the price in 1981 is much lower than any of the other tickets. This is £3, and then as soon as you drop into 2021, we're on £16.85, £12.25, or 25, £24.60, and then once you get all the way down to space, that ticket always costs hundreds of thousands of pounds. And then there's some other things going on as well. So like the names of the stadiums. So your stadium is always your first name and then the word stadium. So we are Launch Stadium because our team is Launch Crew. But then if you look at the other ones, Naveen Shore is at Naveen Park because it's a nice outdoor trees level. The Obtuse Devils are in the Obtuse Arena because we're in the city in the way for the camera. And it goes on and on like that. So there's like the Dayville Hollow for the cave level and various other things like that.
I don't know if you mentioned the specific different ticket types as well, but obviously you will have some post-it notes here, and some cinema tickets as well that all have their own little subtle details. And the post-it notes, that is not just scrawled. You can read that. It is a font, I promise.
Also, this is like nice and faded because it's a 40-year-old ticket, and then when you get to space, that's like a bespoke ticket as well. I guess this is nice and quick. We'll just go ahead and play one of these. So this is something new. This has not been streamed before that I'm aware of, besides like one review. Okay, hang on, let's do a different one than that.
Oh, spoiler content.
Let's do this one. We've got some tips on our loading screens now. And yeah, there's these little narrative breaks in between levels, so you can actually type out kind of what's happening, and it's just a little extra like content in between the normal levels of the game.
Wait, yeah, WAVER is a keyboard game, and it's strange. It almost feels strange calling it a typing game, because even though that is the way you interact with a keyboard, the game is built around this hybrid of typing and rhythm. And we have these various segments that are pure typing as well, and you can see here, like, Matt just got his average word time and his words per minute, and you can rock that pretty high. And there are some associated achievements as well. There is a dedicated typing mode with procedural banks of sentences for you to test your words per minute. I think you are currently beating me. Who would have guessed? You beat me at everything in this game. I'm pretty good too, I think.
I think you've got some very good scores in this game.
This is the thing, right? Because it's only me and you that play it all the time. I feel crap, and then I watch everyone play. I'm like, oh, I'm the second best player in the world. I always forget. It's just you are just so unbelievably good at this game, and unfortunately for everyone involved, without giving too much away, that is going to make the game a little harder for the rest of you guys if you're achievement hunting.
Enough about that, though. I think we
of course.
head to Endless. So I didn't really fully answer the question about like it's my first big project. I don't know how much there is to say really, because in a sense, like we've done the game jams. Which one shall I go with?
Go with plastic, and you can always swap on and off per thingy.
So we're going to do some Endless here. We need to...
Also, when you play Endless in Classic, it's the closest it gets to looking like the Game Jam again. You guys remember this? This is kind of what WAVER looked like a year and 4 months ago. You guys remember this? Still not quite as good. You can also see here, I should make a note, the top right there, we have a jukebox in Keyboard Warrior mode where you can play through all of the tracks and pick your favourites and crossfade them. I was very pleased with this little thing. And these tracks have all been named by Harry Parsons, King of Music. So if you think that they are absolutely absurd, I'm not to blame. There's a track in here, and I asked him 3 times over the last 2 days, are you sure that's what it's called? Sort of loosely prompting him to change it, but he refused. He doubled down, so it's in.
We should say at this juncture as well, the soundtrack is going to be available on Steam along with the game. If you enjoy the music, please do think about buying it, because Harry, the Absolute King, has done our soundtrack entirely off his own back. Like, he did not take any money for it. He did it for the love. But he will get 100% of any sales of his own soundtrack, as one might expect. We don't get anything from that. So if you enjoy the music, give Harry a little shout and get his soundtrack. I'm sure that would be.
That soundtrack should be available probably within about a week. Steam needs to review that separately to the game, so we'll have to go. He's going through a review process, but it's all up there. There's also a couple of bonus tracks on that soundtrack that you will not be able to hear in the game. And you get to one of the, I would say, maybe worth all of the money just to hear Harry's voice. I mean, you will hear it if he shows up at this flat in a second, but if you're not aware, Harry has a voice that is smooth dark chocolate. It's beautiful. And
smooth dark chocolate?
Smooth dark chocolate. So, yeah, Rubik's, have a look at your keyboard and what you will see. Hey Caleb, nice to see you.
Okay.
So okay, let's talk a little bit about the way this works. I mean, we originally in the Game Jam we had a sort of very quote unquote endless mode that you could play through. Very kind of we just threw in some mechanics and let you play it to try and get a high score. And we were revisiting this. We knew we wanted an endless mode in so that people could score attack through this game in a limitless way. If you want to score attack the regular campaign, you will be playing for hours and hours. There are some very tricky scores in there. There are some techniques that are worth learning that will take some time, I think, to say a little. I was playing the game earlier and I discovered a new technique, shall we say? Oh yeah. Matt is very disappointed with me for it, but there is a
okay, I do know what
in a crafty way, so congratulations on the new version. So what we wanted to do with this was, rather than just creating an endless mode with score attack, it felt a little bit undercooked for what we ended up making. And so we borrowed from games like Slay the Spire with their Ascension mode, which basically allows you to play with optional difficulty modifiers. Hades also does this. Supergiant that make Hades. I think they do it in a lot of their games where, they do it in Bastion too, where you can put god medals into the thing. But we want you to be able to choose the way in which you play Endless, and it can get substantially harder than this. I've been sending out a couple of media emails, and the line I put in it is, it may genuinely be the hardest gameplay ever designed for a keyboard. And while that is somewhat hyperbolic for the sake of getting attention, I don't know if it's untrue. The high score achievement we have associated with this mode requires you to play the game in quite a terrifying way. In case you were wondering, I mean, unfortunately you're watching that playing, and it's very easy, but even you get absolutely murdered by the later stages. It's a real challenge, and it's something you can come back to and replay, especially if you've been practicing words per minute. But we also have associated rewards for these and little things that you can unlock along the way. So what you're seeing now is endless mode without any modifiers, and like I said, it's probably the closest it gets to original WAVER. Level 1, endless level 1. Does the game work with other keyboard layouts beside QWERTY? Oh, I'm so glad you asked me. So I had to update the website earlier today, because the website originally said supports 5 most popular keyboard layouts, which was already pretty good. We supported Colmac, which is, I mean, it is one of the most popular keyboard layouts, but that does not make it popular. That is no longer true, because we actually support infinite keyboard layouts now. One of the things That's not true. Okay, that's well, alright. Infinite alphanumeric or alphabetic keyboard layouts.
That's still not true. There are not infinite alphabetic keyboards.
What? There are. We support all of them.
We support all of them.
Oh, just because there's not an infinite amount, there's like millions. We support all of the millions of keyboard layouts. We support the entirety of possible alphabetic keyboard layouts. So when you are choosing you will be prompted to choose what keyboard you're playing at the beginning. You might trip up non-typers, but then why have you bought this game? And you'll see one of the options is custom, and you can actually type in a string. That means even if you've built your own keyboard and you forgot where all the letters went, and you have a Raspberry Pi and you wanted it to all be laid out so that your name is written across the first row, we can support that. So yes, we do support more than QWERTY, and we even support a couple of little bits of punctuation so that this is consistent across all keyboards. Berate, for example.
And just for a laugh, I actually tried playing the game in alphabetic keyboard mode. Oh, let me concentrate here. Oh, nice and easy. Okay. Yeah, I tried playing the game with an ABCDE layout in one of the earlier levels, and it's tricky. Bonus waves are a nightmare.
Oh god, I hadn't even thought about that! Yeah, that doesn't sound possible. Bonus waves are, I still think, the most satisfying thing we've done. Every time I get one, it feels good. I can say that about nothing else. After development, nothing feels good. This is the curse of game development. When you make a game, you only make a game because you want to play it. And then when you have played it in a million states over, I've been a QA tester on this game every day. There isn't tons of joy left to get from it. I know everything. I've unlocked everything 100 times. I've played this game for thousands of hours. But it's nice to me that the bonus waves still bring in genuine joy. I don't expect to support my Greek keyboard. So we do not support Greek characters, although I do think if the game sees success in the Western market, it is entirely possible that we can support some of those characters, because the way that the inputs work for Unity just requires us to import some kind of Greek language package.
We would have to design around it, because some of the game relies on English. So there is
what
more
I suspect
to
we can do is support some events enough that we could make an endless mode that supported Cyrillic, kanji themed and keyboards.
Yeah, potentially.
It's not there. It's not in the pipeline right now, but I don't want to write it off, because I would love to do some translations of this game. I would love to translate some of just the core text into other European languages, particularly because I think we have a European market here and a lot of European viewers. So it's a maybe. Is the answer to that works.
It's getting tough now, Miss.
26 million possible keyboards. That's exactly right. It is getting tough.
So,
and this is on the first of 7 possible challenges.
Yeah, I'm not going to run to my play limit on all of them. I thought I'd do it for the first one, then we'll try and burn through and just unlock some of the next ones, show some features off. And then when we start getting into the higher endless ascensions, divisions as we call them, I'll try and go for the glory.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those things where it's not particularly spoilerific, because this is some particularly challenging gameplay. So you're gonna need to feel this game out. You know what's really nice about this also is when we used to talk about this game, I used to say, and I think this is still true for the game, it's such a game-feel game that it becomes quite hard to market. The camera never moves.
Yeah.
And visually, it was quite hard to work out how do we sell the feeling of being able to, for example, wipe stripes across your keyboard, being able to realise that your fingers are playing patterns. I mean, me and you both play musical instruments, and you end up treating your keyboard in the same way you treat musical instruments.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that actually, for Keyboard Warrior in particular, this is true. You cannot imagine how difficult it is to be able to do what this is doing right now. That was good. That was impressive, that wave. So yeah, I think I would be really curious, and we will know as and when an achievement is got, and when the final Keyboard Warrior achievement is released, it's finally been achieved by someone. It will astound me. I can't wait to look at those figures.
We got kind of distracted by the music, but I still haven't properly answered the question about
Yeah, go ahead. We've got 19 minutes.
Oh yeah, keep an eye on that. Jeez. But yeah, like I said, obviously this makes me just want to make another game, which is cool. But yeah, what I was going to say is, it's not completely alien to me because when we've done the game jams, they do kind of function almost like a sort of microcosm of the game development cycle. You do kind of everything we've done with WAVER. I kind of have seen before. It's just in a super condensed form, and this time it's just like, we've added water. It's expanded.
Right.
So it's not been totally new to me. One of the big changes I think is that in WAVER, sorry, I'm struggling to concentrate. I don't mean WAVER. I don't even mean.
I don't know why you chose this moment.
Okay, so in game jams, you're fighting burnout a lot of the time, and the burnout that you're fighting is really like short scale. You've done nothing for 3 days except develop, and you've got less sleep than you wanted, and you've never taken your eyes off the screen. And it can be very burny in that sort of very short time scale sense. In this one, you're fighting a very different kind of burnout because you're not like you get plenty of breaks, and you have day-to-day life and normal job and stuff around the game. But when you're working on a feature that's taken weeks and you're failing to fix a bug that's been there for a long time, very hard. You're going to try and hit that 250 before we lose here. It's a different kind of burnout that you have to fight, and that can be tricky. But yeah, it's not been as unusual as one might expect, because I think you get a flavour of everything that we've been doing just with game jams.
Can I just ask everyone in the chat right now, how are our levels? Because I know that we're playing the music from the jukebox here. So if anyone could just give me a little feedback on that. Yeah, it is a strange kind of burnout, because actually a lot of it's not burnout from having done a lot, it's burnout from having not been able to do a lot. I think the things that get you when you come to you describe as brittleness, but it's when something has been meant to be resolved, and we are a month on, but that has not been resolved. It can feel like you spent a month trying to fix something, even if that's not true, even if you only give it a day of your time. It can feel like you spent a month trying to fix something you cannot fix. And actually, I think one of the things, it's almost like a degree of imposter syndrome, where you start to think, I actually wonder if I can even do this. Actually, you know what? You should really talk about the cheerleader bug.
Yeah, after this, I'm going to go into the cheerleader bug, because that was a big one.
You're Wave 100! Congratulations!
Thanks, man. I passed the 250 mark. I'll be getting a couple Steam achievements at the end here. I don't know if they'll appear on screen.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But I'm holding on by a thread now. This is tough. Who is that? Is it you?
Classic setup as well. I want to say one thing, because you are better than me at this game, but I firmly stand by I am better than you at bonus waves.
Yes, you are. You excel in the bonus wave. That's why I thought we might be closer on our high scores for levels. I'm consistently a couple thousand ahead, and I thought you'd be pushing some of my scores for some levels just because those bonus waves you're definitely better on. However, I did set a lot of my high scores on my work laptop, and I think I'm bad at bonus waves on this one because I've got a high-profile keyboard and a nice flat.
That's true. Yeah, I always play low-profile keyboards.
Yeah.
That is true. It's actually going to be interesting to see what kind of keyboard people come out with. We found a quite large contingent of rhythm game and keyboard enthusiasts. That was lovely. You almost got a whole top row.
That's just how many guys I've got to control these days.
Are you excited for WAVER story mode speedruns? Yeah. So actually, we were trying to work out. We were trying to work out what a speedrun for this game looks like.
Whoa, that's fast.
Good luck. I saw it actually. I do know this one. Come on. Come on. Oh.
I don't know.
Heartbreak. Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, the challenges get brutal by the end here. And this is just on the way one. But hey, look. 3:30. So yeah, a speedrun for this game is kind of interesting because the games are timed specifically. It should seem like all runs would be the same. In fact, you know what? You finish that thought. I'm going to go and let him.
I actually didn't quite hear what you said, but I'll see in a second.
Yeah.
So So we kind of cap out the number of guys that you can control at this point, because if you control too many guys, you can actually do a decent job of playing the game just by wiping your hand across the keyboard. So we need to make sure that like you still have to actually be manually hitting all these to be able to stay in the running. So somewhere around here, I think at wave 125, I no longer get control of more guys in the crowd. What it is going to start doing is just getting faster and having shorter gaps between waves, up to a point. But you know, someone who is good enough for the game could just keep going, you know, until their arms drop off. I'm really struggling now, so I don't know quite how that's going to go down. But I'm not being messed around by any modifiers here. So we'll stay in afloat. It's a nice fun pattern, lots of V's and stripes and things. So yeah, Endless is definitely just a mix of like the stuff that appears throughout the rest of the campaign. Lots of the home levels in the campaign have like specific patterns that come up on the keyboard, like drawing lines or stripes or that kind of thing. And they all have a chance of coming up in Endless. And then all the events have a chance of coming up, so you might get Simon Says or Wave Cam or the Gun Guy or Cheerleaders. Wow, it's getting faster. I can feel it getting faster. Jeez. And then also on top of that, when you play the later divisions, ascensions if you like, then you also start getting messed with other modifiers. I'm no longer keeping that score at the top. Okay, a nice little bunch at the end there to help me out. I really just want events to happen now. Events are my lifeline. Events like give me all my health back. Oh dear, that was really bad. That was... Whew, okay, alright. Well, after this one, you may have noticed... Hey there, Harry! You may have noticed that these waves are getting fast.
Hello, I'm back and I've brought with me someone very chocolatey.
Yeah, so you may have noticed when I got to wave 25, I think it unlocked the next ascension for me, the next division. So we can try that now, and you can see what the new modifiers are. And I'll try and burn through some of those in a bit. Our cameras aren't on right now, guys, so after this...
I was going to say, once you've finished this, put the camera on and
we'll say hello to our wonderful composer, Party Parsnips.
Maybe not right now. Maybe not a very loud Chris Packet right now. He hasn't quite worked out that we're streaming it.
But they can't hear us right now.
Yes.
We are live. They can hear you.
Everyone in the stream can currently.
Okay, that makes so much sense.
What
is this?
I think a macro playthrough of this is going to be quite interesting. Actually, I do wonder how you would program someone to do this, because these are not
predetermined ways. Scanning the screen, I guess.
Yeah, something like what Code Bullet does for those auto shooter flashbangs. Ooh. Oh, I credited Rubius with the 26 grand possible ads. Congrats on the $500,000!
It's going badly. Oh, Jesus. The waves are really fast.
Oh, this one's okay. There you go. You gained a little ground there.
Oh my god, the wave is so quick. Look at how fast it goes from left to right now.
It's like that.
Oh my lord.
Actually, very well.
Didn't expect this to go on quite this long, sorry folks.
It's okay, well look, we've got 10 minutes till launch, so if you want to dip out and show a look, yeah, I think you might want to throw this one. Although I know what you want now, I know that you
No, at some point a wave is going to go badly.
You see the steamer chafing in your eyes and you're like, the answer is no, by the way, good luck.
But I'm on a times one multiplier, like if I could get this going on, like, oh my god, oh my lord, it is so quick. I've never played this is new to me. I've not been here before, uncharted territory.
Yeah, no, this is, we're quite far through. I mean, you're watching what might end up being one of the most impressive players of WAVER ever played through stage 1 of Keyboard Warrior. Let me just double check. You know what, I should probably crack open Steamworks and get ready to press that button.
This is some lovely music, isn't it?
What's Curante? Is that
The Curante is the second one, I believe.
second? Oh yeah, second's pretty good.
Hello, Martin's Curante Saraband Jig.
Yes.
I'll double check that.
When the clock hits 0, we are going into a chorus of wavy boys, aren't we? Wavy boys.
Believe it, I made sure to try to change that track.
It's too good. I'm talking about the music, not the track name. The track name's fine. The music.
The music is exceptional.
is.
Track name is,
Jesus Christ.
although we are in firm agreement that Chocolate is one of the better track names.
Chocolate is good. Chocolate, yeah. It just felt right as I typed it in.
Alright.
I beat Endless.
Congratulations. You've made it.
I've made it
That
to...
is your theoretical end.
I've made it to the end of Wave. Who knew? Who knew there was an end to Endless?
Don't you worry.
You just grandfathered your own game on the plate. This is truly sad.
Right, jump out. Jump out, get those cameras on, let everyone say hi to Harry. We've got,
back we go.
Let's see, we're in squares, aren't we? So
We are.
let's
You'll
make
need
sure
to
we're
shift a
visible.
little bit to Niz's side, just slightly.
Perfect.
Perfect.
We'll shuffle over.
Hey guys, this
Oh,
is Harry.
I'm never taller than Harry.
No, yeah. If I'm really set up straight, I might. No, I'm not.
Well, you are a little shorter than me in real life, right?
That's true. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
It's because I have these little tiny legs. That's the thing. It's like I'm all torso, and
You
my
are.
legs are. They maybe make up like a quarter of my entire length.
Yeah.
It's
But it's not your fault.
disconcerting.
I'm such a tall man.
I sort of look like a gorilla when a gorilla stands up.
Yeah.
Like chimps, when you look at them for too long, you're like, they've got these little tiny legs. Actually, it's kind of funny.
They do. We want to show off more of Keyboard Warrior at some point, but I don't think we're going to have much time. We've got 6 minutes and 21, according to the screen I just saw there. So, in 6 minutes and 21, is there anything you want to discuss? Oh, first of all, I want to make a brief announcement based on something I said earlier. So, it is my dad's birthday today, and we stand at 5-2 King. It is my dad's birthday today, and we have a series of influencer Steam keys that we've given away, and I thought, what better gift for my dad than a copy of WAVER, a typing adventure? And who's the greatest influencer in my life? It's my own father. So, Dad, if you're watching, this one goes out for you. Happy birthday, bud.
I'm sure he'll love it.
Rubik's, you want to see the divisions and watch them modify the game? You know how you can do that in about 5 minutes' time? You want to know how that works, Rubik's? Game.
Once Waver's out, I think we probably will play a bit more, and I'll try and burn through some of the next divisions
Yeah,
and see what's going on.
even if you just sprint through to
I'll
the
just
end,
quick
I
run
would
out.
love people to see how hectic it gets around stage 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, Dad. Thanks, Pixie. I'll let him know. I just don't know. I don't know. It's exciting. I don't know what to say. We're 5 minutes from a deadline that we've been setting for a really long time.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting. I'm gonna make sure we're open and ready. I got the release app button right there, so we can press that in a moment's notice. Rach says hi.
Oh, hi, Rach.
Hi, Rach.
Is she on the stream as well?
Probably if she knows that you're here. I would have to assume so. Any last? Why don't you tell us about the cheerleader bug before you go? Give us a little anecdote.
Yeah, perfect timing. So the cheerleader bug has existed in the game for more than a year. You'll all remember that we've been in development for 16 months, so that's quite a big part of the development timeline, and is a big part of why the game has felt so brittle for so long to me. Is because occasionally you'll be doing a cheerleader event and the cheerleader just won't accept your answer. It'll say, give me a G, and you'll type a G and it'll go, nah, try again. Which isn't great. You'd want G to pass the event if it's asking for a G. But just on really rare occasions, it just doesn't. And that bug has been such a nightmare to repro, to the point where it doesn't appear for months at a time. And I'll start thinking, did it fix? Did I fix it? Did something tangential that we did somewhere else fix it? And it was being caused by some completely random, unknown side effect of something else in the game. Because I'm sure there's plenty of side effects going on of various function calls in our game. So what happened? Is it not there? Was it ever there? Am I just bad at the cheerleader event? I feel like I gaslit myself on this for some time. It's just did this bug ever even exist? It's the white elephant. But eventually, a week ago, we did finally fix the cheerleader bug, and the moment of fixing it was kind of a fun epiphany, because there was like a little series of events that happened where I finally realised what had gone wrong. I hadn't seen the cheerleader bug now at this point for maybe like 6 months. We genuinely thought it was just gone, it had been fixed by something. We'd sort of tried to fix it, but you never really know if your fixes worked, because you can't make it do the bug anyway, even when you want it to. So we did a fix, and maybe that worked, and it's not appeared for 6 months. And then, yeah, a week ago, I was playing the backwards level Culture Shock, and cheerleader broke. And I was like, oh my god, we want to release this month, and the cheerleader bug is back. It's haunting us. It's like I'm being taunted by someone who has it out for me. Someone's like buried some problem deep in my computer directory just to fuck with WAVER.
I'm sorry about that, by the way. I shouldn't have that.
Yeah, no worries, pal. We got it fixed, so all good. And yeah, so I quit out of the game, and I go to like sign into Unity collab to start working on it, and my password doesn't work. And I go, oh, it's because caps lock's on. And then I go, why is caps lock on? I've just signed into my computer. It worked. No point have I ever put caps lock on. So why is caps lock on? And I was like, oh, it's because I've been doing bonus waves in the backwards level. And when you sweep your keyboard from right to left, you sweep off the end of the keyboard and you hit tab, shift, and click. Sometimes you hit caps lock. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. Sometimes we've been hitting caps lock when we do a backwards bonus. Oh, wait.
And this is one of the craziest things about this bug, is we've been debugging this bug for a while, and it's this strange kind of like blatant blindness. Have you seen that video where they pass the basketball around and you have to count how many times the basketball is passed around, and they make you watch it back, and spoiler alert if you haven't seen that video, a man in a gorilla costume walks through, and no one notices it on the first look through because you're counting the basketball. This happened so many times where we looked at the debug logs and you were like, debug log, what letter did you want me to press? T. What letter did I press? T. And we're like, this T! That's what T is! We pressed T! And then looking at it now, like there were some instances where we probably logged the fact that there were two different cases. And the computer wasn't reporting an error because it's like, yeah, it's wrong. Because it asked for T and you pressed the different T. And you just don't know. Like, I honestly think I debugged this about 10 times and just didn't notice it. I was like, well, that's a T.
Yeah.
You don't expect the problem to not be code.
No, exactly.
It's like, it's not quite user error either.
No.
It's kind of a weird in between thing.
Yeah, it's the fault of the people who invented the rules of language, frankly. I don't think we can blame ourselves. We'll have those problems. Guys, we're seconds away. So I guess it might be worth me clicking through. Do you want me to share my screen so you can see me do it? No, probably not. Actually, I have some private details about the very things account.
There's so many porn tabs.
And there's also so much. Hang on, let's just read through this. Publish now. These are the price points. Yes, very good. Set the launch discount. Yes. Application to playable in Steamworks. Yes. Application as released in Steamworks. Yes. The App Store page to public and the date/time to now. I am ready to press this button.
All right.
I think everyone, if you are ready to go through and make a purchase, now would be a beautiful time to do it.
6 p.m.
So I've got to confirm app release, and I have to type in the phrase, release my app. Drum roll, please, because Steamworks is a slow beast. You must have drummed for quite a while, actually. Steam is really slow today. It's got the loading icon. Loading, so you might want to give it like 20 seconds or so, but at some point in the next minute, the game will be released. And I'll let you all know when that has happened. In fact, the best way to check this might not even be on this page. It might be
on Steam
to go to the actual page
yeah.
for Steam and see what it's saying.
Anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and we'll.
Ladies and gentlemen, go to Steam. The game is purchasable right now.
Hey,
Special promotion. Offer ends 27th of August, but in my heart it ends in 20 minutes. So go buy that game as we speak.
We have a week of launch sale, and it's a good one. WAVER is up, folks. WAVER, a typing adventure. There it is.
I need to take that from you. You've already finished that beer, but cheers.
I've got a Coke.
Cheers.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. To the wavy boys.
To the waviest of boys. I'm going to do a little tweet now announcing it.
I shall retweet.
And you shall retweet.
Mm-hmm. and then our business is done, and I'm leaving.
I never wish to speak to you again, sir.
You have got everything you could ever need from me.
Weirds, we will probably try and push a Mac build as soon as possible. The problem is actually testing, not architecture. The game should theoretically be portable to Mac, but we are going to have a look at it, and we wanted to make sure we have one clean build to push on launch day. So if you want to stick around for this, if you wishlist the game, you will get announcements from the game, or if you go and follow the game's community page, you should get announcements from the game. And then when we do an update that allows for Mac, and I think it will be one of the priorities in the early days here, then it should notify you. Oh, congratulations, buddy!
You too, fellas. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how it does in these first couple of days. Thank you for joining us.
We just made our first mil! I've just looked at the sales reports!
Well, Bezos is giving us all of his money for thousands of copies for all his friends.
Jeffrey Bezos says he also uses the keyboard and would like to give us his first spaceship!
He probably sells more keyboards than anyone else.
I was going to say, we should contact him.
Yeah.
We should reach out.
Make a deal.
Yeah, it's kind of, broke messaging YouTubers. Woke messaging corporate CEOs. That's what we're going to do next. Well, this game launches at midnight for me.
I think that was before we hit the button.
I see, I understand.
Oh,
Just bought the game. Thank you, Axel. You might be our first purchase. You actually might be our first. That's worthy of a reward. I'm going to send. I don't know what I can send you. All I can send you is a Steam key. I'm going to send you something. Axel, send a DM to in the Discord server or something.
I have a
some
little
kind of...
potential.
Chuck in the soundtrack as well.
Yeah, you know what? Hell,
Give
once the
us
soundtrack is up, we'll give you a key to the soundtrack. It's courtesy of Harry.
Yeah.
Thank you for the first purchase. That means a lot. So, look, do you want to play some of the game and just riff for a little bit here?
Yeah,
while,
sure. Let's jump back
I
into
get
the
drunk.
numbers. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. No need to. I know there's no need to, but I want to, Axel.
I'm desperate for someone to hear this thing.
I mentioned the
My
bonus tracks.
pride is completely reliant on this. I will just crumble if I don't get some instant feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the main problem is also it's very, very bad. So we might have to give it away for free. This might be a running thing. Actually, everyone Harry's spoken to is like, I'll give you the soundtrack.
Yeah.
You can hear some of it here, although again there are 3 bonus tracks attached to the soundtrack. Right?
I guess technically there are 3. Yeah, I never really think of the intro one as a bonus, but it
doesn't exist in the game.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's stuff I made months ago when I was just composing the main theme, and I thought, oh well, this could be useful someday. It's kind of like it's like working on the same chords as the main theme, but it kind of works a bit like the PS2 startup sound. That's kind of what I was going for. And so I sort of did that and did a softer version of the theme, and they sort of formed the intro of the OST, which I thought was quite a nice thing to chuck in.
It is very
I should have put bonus in brackets. I didn't do that.
That's okay. You know what? The true fans will know. Also, there's time because it's not in the game.
That's true. That's true. But then, you can't have track 1 in brackets
Bonus. Yeah,
It's absurd. It is track 1. It's just not from the game.
Can I get a second purchase price? Sorry, Daisy, you actually don't. It's actually a second purchase punishment. It is first the worst, second the best. No, I thought it was going to work in my
First the best, second
I genuinely.
the worst.
First the best, second you suck, dude. Thank you for the purchase, Daisy. I appreciate it. It generates some sales, babies. You can have whatever you want, Daisy. You can have an actual physical gift from me. That's a monkey with a tray. I'm not sure what that emoji is, but
With a hammer? It's a monkey with a hammer.
I think it's a hammer.
Hammer? Is it like a
That could be
monkey?
cool.
Why do the people turn into letters? So, Rubik's, we have 2 modes in this game, and you can play either way. You are rewarded separately for different ones, and there are associated achievements. Yeah, this is typist mode. So if you are a little overwhelmed, you're not a touch typist, I find this is a little easier. I'm not a touch typist, for example. I started out playing in this mode, although I now have about as much lush in Classic. I do genuinely, truly believe, and it's hard to measure when we've been working this game so long, that this game has helped me touch type. It's a violent thing. Well, I guess don't threaten me. Here's all I have to say about that is please don't threaten me. So there's a couple of different ways that you can play this game. A couple of different cups, a couple of different trophies you can unlock as a result.
So So we're looking at Division 2 here. One is just the classic game. It's just waves, and they just you control more guys, more and more as you go through, and that's all. But we're now in Division 2, so you'll have noticed that we now have backwards waves happening. Occasionally they're coming from the right hand side. You may have also noticed, if you're eagle-eyed, that my scores are a little higher now. So a good yellow score is going beyond the 400 cap that you usually get. So I have a 1.5 multiplier for playing in this mode, so I can now go up to 600 at a perfect wave. Almost got it there with that 584. So your scores go higher the higher the division you play. Also on this division, the gap between waves, I believe, is slightly shorter. Okay, there we go. There is a new division unlocked. I'm gonna lose my game here. There we go. And we can power through and have a look at some of the next ones.
Congratulations.
So, let's see. So
thank you, Weirds. I will hopefully you will be made aware by Gmail.
So there you go. This was 1.5 shorter gaps and backwards waves. So if we head into 3.
Thank you, Drake. Appreciate it very much.
Yay! Nice one. Cheers, Drake. So this is now shorter gaps and faster waves. And we have a new modifier, which is Sleepy Boys, your favouriteness.
I do love this one. This is my favourite modifier. Which are you playing in Typist or are you playing in Classic?
Classic.
Okay, so in Classic, there are 2 different animations for this that we had to do. Obviously, the letters they work a little differently than people. They don't turn up in waves, so there's different animation sets for both characters here. And well, just show off the Classic, and then maybe later you guys will see Typist. Is it hard to port this type of game? Well, the answer is it depends on where you're porting it to. To Mac, probably not too hard for us. We do have to do a lot of testing, and we want to make sure we're kicking out a clean product. To Linux, it's probably a similar deal. Just to make sure we have a machine that can support it. Obviously, to a console, not a chance. And it's a shame because we were talking to publishers for a little while. We were approached by other publishers too. It wasn't just us doing our due diligence. A few people noticed this and bodes well for the future of our development, I think. But one of the key sticking points was just that this requires a keyboard. So it will hopefully hit a very niche market on PC and eventually Mac. But for now, that is as good as we can do.
Potentially do tablet, right? But it just wouldn't be the same thing, would it? Because you'd just be pressing the characters.
You'd be probably.
So it's just not the same thing. It's not the same thing as the association between visual and then what your hands are doing. It's like you're just pressing it. Yeah.
And we have a pitch deck where we have pitched that. WAVER Metro or WAVER Go. Kind of on the tube sort of play along. And again, if the game sees success and if people clamour for it. It's not like we're not saying we can do anything, but right now what we want to do is we want to play into the audience that have purchased the game. You are now our #1 concern. We want to make sure you're having a good experience with it, and hopefully we can. Hopefully we've already provided a very rich experience, but if anyone has any feedback, we'll probably take them into account.
You're our #1 concern, and Neru's personal phone number. Anytime, day or night, any problem, any bug,
he will do it.
We got a Sleepy Boy there. Didn't you see that? We actually got very lucky. They're more likely than they have appeared so far.
Why do I see scarves as 7s?
You see scarves as 7s.
I can see.
I also see scarves as 7s. Thank you for ruining WAVER. There's another cold beer in the fridge. If you would like it, I would urge you to go and pop some warm beers in the fridge.
I've got to go. I know.
I
I can put the beers in the fridge.
Right, so do that.
I've got to be in fridge. I'm trying to eat a crisp.
Taking the headphone off does not make you off money.
It does. It does because I said this. It puts the mic further away from my face.
Listen, you won't be able to. Thank you so much. You were a huge part of this project. I also just tweeted out your name, so go ahead and tweet that.
I tweet out my name every day.
Harry Parsons.
First thing in the morning. I look at myself in the mirror and I tweet my name 100 times.
You tweet your name 3 times into the mirror.
Yep. Yeah, it's the prestige. I then kill myself, and it's very complex.
Listen, thank you so much, man. You've been a huge part of the project and the process, and I know I sound like I'm being interviewed, but it's just because there's a formal genuineness to what I'm saying. I'm taking off my headphones briefly, I cannot hear you.
Love you, man.
Thank you so much.
No one can say it.
Pleasure. Always enjoy to knock something out. Happens every now and then. Do you want some peanut butter, boys?
You take them with you, I'm okay. I'm kind of snacked up right now.
Okay.
Oh, we've got Sleepy Guys in this.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
So the way Sleepy Boys work
Two more daddy birthdays.
is guys can randomly fall asleep like that green boy up there, and before you can leave him, you need to hit him once to wake him back up. So you've got to notice that they've fallen asleep quick enough, because I can't make him join in the wave until he's awake. Oh, we can hear the danger sound because I'm almost dead, but I'm gonna lose here and move on to the next division. So Sleepy Boys, it's just possible that they fall asleep occasionally, just to wake them back up. Thank you, David.
I can take 1 second away.
That's okay. So let's move on to the next division here. I got a Steam achievement for this 100,000 score. And next we're moving on to Division 4. And this time we'll notice that there are some camera screwery going on. And things, there are even shorter gaps between waves now. And the multiplier is getting bigger. So it is actually going to start getting pretty hard. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to make my way through the endless here, but we'll see if I can at least hold on enough to get to the next divisions. And all the modifiers, of course, from the previous levels do stack up as well. So I'm still getting the reverse waves, I'm still getting the Sleepy Boys. So each level that you go up, you just have more and more to contend with. But the trade-off is that you can get also the higher score for doing this. I'm now working with a 2.5 times multiplier. If you want that Steam achievement for 1,000,000 points in Endless, I think you're going to need to play one of these higher levels. Although right now I'm not really after points so much, I just want to survive long enough to unlock the next ones. So, unlocking... oh, missed it. So, unlocking future Endlesses is based on... that's fun. The wave that you get to, not the points that you get to. We are a little nicer to you when the camera's upside down and limiting the number of guys that you get. It's more like half of what you should have otherwise at this point in the game. So I'm getting like 2s and 3s, even though when the camera comes back around here, I'm going to be going back up to like, 5s and 6s. Upside down, Weirds. Upside down.
Hello, tis I am back.
Oh, got a Sleepy J.
Sleepy J, wake that J up. I love the Sleepy J.
Give me a Y. Give me a letter in treble. But not in tab. Give me a letter next to I.
Oh, lordy lord. So what's your goal here? You wanna get up to level 7?
I think so, yeah. That's a nice bounce wave.
That's a very nice bounce wave. Well done. Toasty Breeze, one of my preferred tracks, I think, one of my favourite tracks. You may know it's Parsons Park.
So the Sleepy J.
Formerly Parsons Park. I don't know if your screen appears to be upside down.
It's a graphics bug.
I know, it's another thing we have to fix.
No, come on. Sleepy. So I think I need to be at wave 40 for this one.
Another purchase from the gang here.
Hey.
I don't know if you're in the stream here, but thank you, Dave. I appreciate
Drake
that.
also said that we deserve the full price and donated another $4.80 to the stream as well. Thank you, Drake. That's very kind.
Jake, thank you. That's very kind.
Doesn't even want
Doesn't even want a discount.
Discount.
That's love. That's what love looks like, people.
It's also expected, so I would like another $4.80.
That's what love looks like, but it is also sort of what we're hoping from everyone else in the crowd. So if you could all put your fingers in your wallets and just throw as much money as you can at us. That would be ideal. I'm gonna link my PayPal, and if you want to put money directly in my pocket, that would be brilliant.
Bitcoin wallet links are in description.
Yeah. Also, I'm just gonna give you my address. If you want to post me cold hard cash, you can also do tasks for me. I work on a barter system. If you have any good eggs. Is it just this slightly off topic question? Is it just me? But when you think about barter, do you always think about eggs?
Why?
To me, that is the primary good that is bartered.
I think of eggs as sort of never being bartered, and no, that's definitely not what I think of when I think of bartering.
Oh. Hey, thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it. I don't know if you're in the stream.
Cool. Lights are out. Sharks. Sharks, JQ.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Airport come down. Does Airport come down and baked Alaska? Harry, how many narcotics were you under the influence of when you wrote this soundtrack? Airport come down and baked Alaska. Yeah, but were you baked when you wrote it? That's what I need to hear.
Were you Airport when you wrote this?
Were you Airport when you wrote this?
There's something kind of airporty about it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, I don't know, it reminded me of a very specific airport countdown, to be honest. I was like, oh, there we go, that's what it is.
That's it, I remember that.
You know? And Baked Alaska is because there is something kind of like, I mean, it's got like chilly, reverby, mountainy vibes, but
Like
it's
it.
kind of warm as well. I'm kind of like that.
Now, I think while we've got the stream open where it is, there's probably one additional question we're going to ask you, which is why is this track called Chocolate?
Why is it? Well, when you come up with the greatest portmanteau between two words that's ever existed, you don't just throw that shit away.
Yeah, that's so
you
true.
use it. You use it in the right place, and I was like,
You put it where
there we go.
you put it where it belongs. That's so true.
It just felt right. It's a chunky track.
It is.
Like that chunky synth in the middle. That bit I love.
I do insist that when you get a pet in your next house, you do name it Chocolate Parsons. I do think chocolate is one of the better words to have ever been called.
It is probably chocolate.
Is it possible, and the answer may actually well be no, Matt, that we have access to a save file with all the unlocks and we can play through the credits?
No, that's not possible. Sorry.
Someone's gonna have to get out there. First person to access the credits and thank us directly. I can't give you Steam keys. You've already bought the game. I have nothing to give you, but I will love you.
I got water.
Yeah, go for it. Please do. By all means, feel free to water any plants in your house.
So you may notice that the crowd is bigger now. We've got guys above and below us. And the reason for that is that waves now can come from any direction, and you do need to be able to see when that's happening. So we have guys above and below you, just in case the wave is coming at you from above or below. So we need a continuous plane, a two-dimensional guy plane all around your keyboard.
Here's a no, I'll save it for after the stream. It's such a brilliant question. I wonder. Well, no, I will ask it because maybe someone else knows the stream. I wonder if analytics of giving a key away is the same as gifting a copy away. I want to give some people this game, but should I distribute a key or should I gift a copy?
Yeah.
Well, we'll learn in time.
Oh, that was good.
That's
Ah,
okay.
everyone's asleep.
Everyone's asleep. All up in here. One of my favourite tracks, I think. Wake the boys up.
It gets really tough. Well, I am pushing 4-digit scores on single leaves now.
Say again? Yeah, that's my favorite one. I mean, your music is very bad and your music is very good, and that's why it's the best track.
Yeah, improves it.
Yeah. If anything, I wrote a brilliant piece of music, gave it to you, and then you substantially lowered the quality so that it fit with the rest of the soundtrack. Which sounds
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, you got to keep these things in check. Otherwise, someone would hear that and just be like,
It's very appropriate.
Nah, I can't even.
come on.
It's markedly better than the melody line if you're over to you. Yeah. I mean, swing time is already beautiful, but the instrumentation on this is really good. I do really like this because I think when we first set out to work out what the soundtrack would be like, in my head I figured, well, are we going to just default to something chiptune? We defaulted to false pixel graphics. Or we default into a kind of false pixel style. I think what we're going to end up getting
Too busy reading chat.
markedly better.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I feel like I was never like sort of aiming for a specific style. You sort of gave a few influences here and there.
Yeah, there were like 3 tracks that I said like maybe this bit should be
A
somewhere.
little bit Wii-ish, a little bit this, a little bit that.
We use Nintendo in our marketing for this stuff.
Yeah. Which like I feel like I can sort of disseminate that into something else. But then I guess because I'm not really orchestral in the way a lot of the composers that we know are, but I'm also not very chiptuney either. I don't know if I kind of have to solve a lot of those problems my own way. And it's kind of, instrumentation, I guess.
Rubik, so I want to ask you a question. What do you think is the most masculine letter? What do you think is the most feminine letter? Answer's on a postcard, everyone in chat. But the answer is this is everyone in the audience is pretty gender neutral. There's, I mean, they look masculine, I suppose in build perhaps. They just look like the original drawers. It's what they look like. But they are intentionally gendered, I would say. They're not as a statement, more as a artistic choice. But I would say there's an exact 50-50.
Yeah, it's more like a minimalism thing. Right?
I'd say the upside down T looks a bit like Venus.
The upside down T is the most masculine of all of the traits, yeah. That's true. They don't look really masculine at all. Women in my games. Well, it's up to you on this one, I think. There really aren't many named characters in these games. There's no gendered language in this game, I'll say that much.
Yeah. Actually, there's random sentences in typer mode of both.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and we did make sure to balance that out also.
And they.
And yeah, they them's. Yeah, I wanted to answer another question in the chat here. You just have TGB. TGB is such a from circumstance boon. So TGB is actually pretty much the central column of a keyboard.
Yeah.
And also there are levels where we make you interact with columns, stripes, and chevrons. And TGB is very likely to show up in any given run, which I like. Hey, when are you getting a max support for this game? Simon Fisher, I was going to say quite quickly, but the pestering and the yapping attitude of the way that you asked that makes me think. We've already answered this question, so I think it will be one of the early priorities. It's a testing issue. In fact, actually, Si, if you want to come over, I wouldn't mind using the laptop to test. Because that's the only thing. I think the game should be very easy to port. We just have to set up a second depot and let's do... Oh, you're playing in Azerty?
Well, Fred was wondering what happens if you have an Azerty keyboard, so I thought I would answer
Well, this is the answer, yeah. Yeah, we need to test the game a lot to make sure that we're keeping this one very clean, is the answer to that. So.
It's so fast, man. I heard Azert. Ooh, that was my game for a second. I think that was actually my computer.
Yeah, but we had to... Actually, I want to say one thing about WAVER, that it may be the most powerful program ever developed. So I was editing the most recent launch trailer a couple days ago, and After Effects, over the course of my editing process, froze and crashed 4 times. One time enough that I restarted the computer. My computer was very low on memory while I had After Effects open, and I was playing WAVER on the other monitor, and WAVER... I had a Windows error saying, look, we can't play WAVER, everything's dead, you're all locked up. Do you want to continue? Waiting. And I just pressed yes, and it let me play WAVER anyway. It did not end. Never has that happened, where it's like, would you like to close this? And I wrote no, and the program was fine. So WAVER is probably the hardest program of all time.
I'm going to switch back to us here.
Cool.
There it is. So yeah, that's a kind of a view of the endless stuff going on in the game, and you also saw like a narrative break and a couple other bits and pieces. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's bought a copy of WAVER so far.
Yeah, it's been. I love to see the support in the chat. Genuinely, I mean, I look happy, but I assure you, it is not a financial victory. I just feel so glad that people are actually playing this game. It means a lot. It really means a lot. I hope you have a good experience. And I mean, I'm in the Great Break Discord. I think we're streaming to the Great Break channel right now. So everyone ping me with every achievement you get. It's just going to make me so happy.
Congrats. See you in a bit.
Peace out, Harry. Thank you so much. Hey, come say goodbye to the crowd. We're on camera again. Come give everybody a brief wave.
Bye, everyone. Enjoy playing the game. Hope you have fun.
Cheers for all your music, Harry.
Bye, Matt, as well.
Matt says cheers for all the music. And is there if you had to leave us with one final phrase, what would it be and why?
What would it be and why?
I don't know, I asked you this question 6 hours ago and you said you had a little poem you wanted to recite. Now is the time.
It's too dirty.
That's the problem. That's true, actually. Simon says bye, Harry. He does.
That's right, you've got to come down. We need to play test from Mac.
Yeah.
For that, I think you need to move down here. And the playtesting takes 6 months, a year.
6 months to a year, approximately 6 months to a year.
Yeah, it's a lengthy process, but if you, I wouldn't say move down here, but temporarily stay here for like 2 or 3 or 5 years.
Yes, that would be good.
I think that's enough time to sort it.
Okay, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I also throw my hat to that right.
So, alright. Cheers, guys.
Thanks very much, Harry.
Bye, Harry.
Fucking glad he's gone. Guy sucks. I don't even know. Where were we prior to this? Oh, we're just thanking everyone for the support, weren't we? We just love it so much. We just love that people are playing it so much. So is there anything else? I mean, do we want to continue to stream, or should we maybe just duck out here and let people?
Well, I think that's all the gameplay I want to show off. So unless you have any other specific things you wanted to talk about, then
I mean, I could talk about this game for forever because we have talked about this game for forever. It's not me and you. You know what? It's gonna be really nice to call you and just not talk about this.
That's true.
I don't think we've spoken. I don't think there's been a conversation we've had where there hasn't been at least 30 seconds dedicated to this. Probably for the next 2 weeks, I expect that. But we are guilt-free going to be able to talk about new game ideas because the best thing about putting this on Steam, finishing the product, putting it on sale, and by no means does the support end today. The support will continue for the duration of the project. I want to make sure everyone's having a good experience, and again, these things that people are already asking for, me and Matt will talk about these and address them.
Yep.
But I think the thing is, we're ideas people, and we have so many projects that we want to pursue now. And over the course of WAVER, we've been saying, well, okay, what would we do? You know, how would we deliver something bigger and fierier after this? And every time I've thought about something, the back of my mind has said, yeah, okay, but don't think about it too much. Don't start any other creative process. I've been wanting to record music for a few months. Don't do it because you've got this project, and until this project is finished, there is a guilt associated with any other creative thought. And getting this through just blows my mind open to being like, hey, the doors are open again. Let's make something new on top of this. And this exists, it's out. People will play it, and I hope people will enjoy it. Also, if we are going to sign out here, I want to give a quick nod to some other channels. I was recently interviewed by Matt of Team Ningen Gaming. If you guys want to go and search that out, that's kind of fun, although you've heard me speak for the last hour and a bit anyway, so you might not want to...
Is that N-I-N-G-I-N? Ningen.
N-I-N-G-E-N.
G-E-N.
Team Ningen.
Ningen.
And the other thing is, we've already had a review. The game has already been reviewed before we launched. We sent out a couple of influencer keys, very few actually. And only recently there was a very fast turnover on the review. Honestly, want to say that between receiving the key and uploading the review was like 12 hours.
Yeah.
And the guy that reviewed it, he had a pretty good time with it. He ran into a lot of the challenges in the game. And found it difficult, but I think there's a pretty good summary there if you want to tell a friend what the game's about. You can link up on the Berate channel. We have a launch trailer, we have our trailer from last September, and there are now reviews, and hopefully more will pop up over the next few weeks. But feel free to go and just search the game out and learn more about it. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say.
All right, well, I think we'll close out here then, and I'll catch you for a quick chat after this, Niz. Don't go anywhere. But thanks for watching, folks. Thank you for the donation as well, Drake. Thank you to everyone who's bought the game. Let everyone know that it's out and they can check it out. If you do buy a copy, leave us a Steam review. That would be awesome. And
Any
yeah,
community engagement is hugely helpful.
It's
From
really
what I understand, we don't know how analytics work. This is our first project, so if there's a weird thing that you know, if anyone is a curator or anyone knows it, by all means, engage with the game on Steam as best we can. We're going to get data from this. It's going to help us so much in the future, and also it's just the nicest thing you could do for us right now beyond purchasing the game.
so yeah, I will see you all. I actually don't know if I will be around for the whole proper bomb stream tomorrow, but I will at least be around for some of it, if not all of it. So yeah, I will catch you guys for Saturday Contained. Yeah, enjoy your weekends, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye, guys.